Hi, and welcome to this new moon ritual. This ritual assumes that all that have gathered have properly prepared themselves with the Kabbalistic cross, as well as the lesser banishing ritual. Now, before we continue along our path, as is tradition of the ancients, let us invite the guardians of the watchtowers, gods and goddesses, to lend us their energies and to guard our sacred circle. All hail to the watchtower of the East, the element of air, spirit and intuition, intellect and sense of reason and knowledge, the soft breeze, the very breath of life to all that live upon this great earth. We ask you to join us in our rituals, lending us your power of discernment for the good work. Guard our sacred circle set outside of time and charge it by your power. We bid hail and welcome to East and Air. Hail to the watchtower of the South, the element of fire, creative energy and will, the burning flames of desires. We ask you to join us in our ritual, lending us your powers of vitality and drive for the good work ahead. Guard our sacred circle set outside of time and charge it by your power, helping us to move forward. We bid hail and welcome to South and Fire. All hail to the watchtower of the West, the element of water, the power of dreams and emotion, and the power to dare, that which washes us of negativity and teaches us love. We ask you to join us in our ritual, lending us your power for the good work ahead. Guard our sacred circle set outside of time and charge it by your power, giving us wisdom and love for all. We bid hail and welcome to West and Water. All hail to the watchtower of the North, the element of earth, the power of Mother and Earth, the power of silence, the power of manifestation, that which we create with our thoughts. We ask you to join us in our ritual, lending us your powers of stability and grounding for the good work ahead. Guard our sacred circle set outside of time and charge it by your power. We bid hail and welcome to North and Earth. To the ancients, to older versions of ourselves, divine mystery, bringing together that which is true to our respective paths, helping us to heal the past of this carried negative karma. Spirits of above and below, guardian power within that connects us all, we call at you to be at your strongest with us and lending us your guidance. We look above to seal the heights with Yud He Vav. We look below to seal the deep with Yud Vav He. We look forward to seal the east with He Yud Vav. We look backwards to seal the west with Vav He Yud. We look to the right to seal the south with Vav Yud He, and we look to the left and seal the north with He Vav and Yud. These are the ineffable existence, the spirit of living God, air, water, fire, height, depth, east, west, north, and south. Let all who came not in response to our call, we acknowledge your presence, wishing you well, and ask that you depart now in peace, and let all who have entered our circle be here in perfect love and perfect trust. The circle is now cast. Welcome to the new moon in Leo, which wanes on 8/16/23 at 6:28 a.m. The moon representing the female archetype, our inner emotional nature, including dreams, fears, loves, and subconscious drives. Leo is masculine fixed fire. It is the sign of willpower and is ruled by the sun, the planet of our conscious drive. Leo shows where you are strongly creative and is intense fire, vitality, and authority. It's enthusiastic, powerfully expansive, generous, and extravagant, dogmatic, and very fixed in opinion. The glyph for the sign of Leo, being the lion, shows the strength and fierceness of this sign. The moon in Leo is gregarious and brings out the performer in us all. With first house energies, Leo shines where it wishes to be, the center of attention, always in the limelight. Emotions are in check and the conscious will rules the day. Aspecting this new moon is the conjunction with the Sun and Venus, the square with Jupiter and Uranus. The North Node is in Aries and the ascendant sign is in Leo, which adds to the strength of this new moon. The conjunction occurs when planets are on the same degree and is considered intensely unified. The sun, representing our conscious will in the sign of Leo, shows its strength with this conjunction as the sun adds its intensity with the energies of this new moon. The Leo sun in conjunction with the Leo moon lends internal strength and independence. If the energies of this moon positively affect your natal chart, the energies can set your creative juices ablaze. Also joining in the conjunction is the planet Venus, the planet that represents our appreciation of aesthetics and pleasure. In Leo, Venus is given to grand gestures and dramatic scenes. Since this conjunction is right on the edge of the 12th house to the first, Venus takes on psychological problems that could lead new Leo's moon's attention, those hidden enemies that rear their ugly heads every now and then to tear down the positive work you've managed thus far on yourself. The square occurs when planets are at 90 degrees and is considered an aspect of tension in order to promote action. That nagging feeling that you get when your spirit wants you to get up and take care of something that you've been putting off. Jupiter and Uranus are within this square, with Jupiter representing good luck and expansion, higher knowledge, new experiences, and good health, and Uranus representing change, ingenuity, inspiration, and psychic abilities. Both are in Taurus, fixed to a false stability. The Jupiter square with the moon inspires us to go against tradition, with the square when Uranus gives us a flair for the unusual. These energies lend themselves to a strong-willed individual who is not afraid to be different. If you've had any inspiration to change anything about yourself that sets you apart from anyone else, and you've been afraid to do it, wear that pink hair, give up those Clark shoes for a pair of funky platforms, give up the navy suit for a bright green sundress with huge yellow flowers. Do it, and do it now. Express that individuality and walk with your head held high, not caring about how anyone looks at you, the sneers and the glares. I had been growing out my hair for about 7 years when I decided I was tired of touching up the roots every 2 weeks. So I was going to bleach it all out and go completely gray. Well, the bleaching process was more than my hair was ready to take at that time, and it became necessary to cut it all off, down to about 2 inches, from a ponytail that reached the middle of my back. A little traumatic, but it's hair, right? It'll grow. I hated the bleach blonde color, so I went to a silver blue for a bit, and it was liberating. I caught a couple of people sneering at it with that ew look on their face, but screw 'em. I liked it. It reminded me of my grandmother who wore her hair blue for a while, and it turned out most people were very positive about it. I've since toned it down to a dark gray, but it's not as funky as I think I am. The North Node in a natal chart shows us where the lessons of this transit are to be. The North Node is now in Aries, which points to a path of courageous independence, with ninth house energies pointing to defending a higher cause. I recently made a comment on social media that some took offense to, but I had to qualify the comment because I lean on my instincts over what the media reports. It makes me colorful and different that I don't believe everything I hear on TV, and I can think for myself based on things that I've learned over the years. I can live with that. I can also defend it. Today in the Hebrew is the Rosh Chodesh, or new moon, for the month of Elul. Elul is the last month of the Hebrew calendar and is typically a month of reflection over the past year in preparation for the month of holy days to come. The days of Elul are said to be the days of Teshuvah, which is repentance, from the Hebrew word leshuv, which means to return, as in returning to ourselves, returning to our truth, our real and true inner connection. The Torah portion for today speaks of standing separate and apart, as in daring to be different than people around you. We seem to live in a society today where people seem to be afraid to be different, to think different, because they get bullied and tormented for having the audacity to say something against what someone else believes to be true. And therein lies the attack on freedom of speech. It's like the study of monkeys, where a group of monkeys were given bananas, and then when one would make a move toward getting a banana, someone turned a hose on it to punish it from doing what came natural. And one by one, experiencing the hose would then regulate all of the other monkeys that were released into the group, attacking any monkey that dared to go near the bananas. Only water comes out of the hose. It may be cold, it may even hurt a bit at high pressure, but it doesn't kill you. Elul in Virgo in English, I'm sorry, Elul is Virgo in English, and since the sun remains in the sign of Leo, we turn our focus upon the Hebrew letter which created the month of Elul's ruling planet, Chokav, or Mercury, which is controlled by the letter Resh. The letter Resh is connected with the 30th path on the Kabbalistic tree of life, connecting the Sfirot of Hod with that of Yesod, and the Sun card in the Toth Tarot. Hod in Hasidic Judaism is connected with prayer, which is seen as a form of submission, instead of conquering an obstacle in one's way to subdue oneself to that obstacle. Hod is described as a force that breaks energy down into different distinguishable forms, just as one might look into a situation for what it represents rather than fighting against it. Try to see what there is to learn and therefore how to best divine a solution. Yesod is said to be the vehicle which allows for movement from one thing or condition to another. The power of connection as the letter Vav. Yesod is foundation upon which the higher spheres rest and how they connect with Malchut, likened as the engine room of creation. Aleister Crowley wrote the following of the Sun card, quote, "This is one of the simplest of the cards. It represents Hera Raha, the Lord of the new Aeon, in his manifestation to the race of men as the sun spiritual, moral, and physical. He is the Lord of light, life, liberty, and love. This Aeon has for its purpose the complete emancipation of the human race." End quote. Lon Milo DuQuette went on to say in his expose on the Aleister Crowley Toth Tarot, quote, "Whenever I am asked to explain the philosophy, or if you prefer, the religion of Thelema, the first thing I usually tell people is, it is a modern form of sun worship. And then I'm quick to add, and when I use the word sun, I'm also referring to myself." End quote. The letter Resh is the 20th letter of the Hebrew alphabet with a numerical value of 200, both of which break down to 2. 8, 16, 23 equals 20, which also breaks down to 2, with the time of this new moon at 6:28 a.m. breaking down to 7. The number 2 is duality and represents by 1 becoming 2 as the mirror image reflects back upon itself. If Adamah, man, is or was created in the image of those gods who made him in their image, regardless of what God is to you, what image do we reflect back? Remembering when I first learned that radio waves extend indefinitely out, my first thought was, what do other beings out there think of us when they hear what goes on among those radio waves? Who are these people and why would we want to visit them? The great work here is to get as close to your God image as possible. There is a great deal to experience along the way. We are supposed to enjoy the journey for good or for bad and count it all success, as long as we are learning and being true to our nature, figuring out along the way what our purpose for coming here was in the first place. If this new aeon's purpose is the complete emancipation of humanity, how close are we? The 30th path is known as collecting intelligence. Cheek Cicero, in his book Scrying on the Tree of Life, wrote, "The collecting intelligence implies accumulation, increase, and growth. The Hebrew letter Resh is attributed to the sun and the head, which suggests both cosmic and human consciousness. Is therefore a path of increasing level of consciousness where all forms of consciousness are collected, integrated, and appropriated for a divine purpose." Here are established the laws that rule our nations of reality, the judgment of the stars and celestial signs, and the perfections of their science according to the rules of the nations of the stars, indicates the precise structure and operation of cosmic law that rules and regulates all things in the universe. The 30th path, areas that the 30th path can help you: astral traveling, being able to gather sexual tension and direct it, prophetic insight, diligence in acquiring a skill, visualization, finding understanding and accepting a soulmate. That is all the correspondences that we have for this new moon in Leo. We hope that you have found something that you can take with you into your days of tomorrows. As we close out this ritual, let us bid farewell to the guardians of the north, and earth, west water, south fire, east and air. We thank you each and all for joining us in our celebration, and we trust in you to carry forth our wishes and intentions to begin the process of manifestation according to our will and the love that binds us all. Go if you will, stay if you must. May there be peace between us all, now and forever, to all beings in all directions. In love and trust, the circle is now open, but always unbroken. Blessed be, and wishing you all a wonderful new moon. Thank you.